My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon of my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Well, I'm sure we all have the disturbing experience of a brush with evil. And in fact, these moments can be the most traumatic moments really in our lives, whether it be a really serious brush with evil, an attack, a robbery, something like that, or even very simple things like somebody treats us with great, hatred. Sometimes it happens as priests that somebody gives you the evil eye, a dirty look, really meant to really pierce you. And sometimes they do. They can really leave you a bit rattled for a while afterwards. Just that passing glance that somebody gives you, which is clearly meant to shake you, and it does. People do suffer from even what they call the mean world syndrome. Just this exposure to so many nasty things happening in the world that leaves people sad, fearful, pessimistic about the whole world. And some people have used the phrase soul pain for this experience of pain in their soul, dealing with others who have suffered from great evil, from trauma, from war, all kinds of terrible things. And we could end up by kind of thinking that the world is really a terrible place and evil is stronger than good and evil predominates. Well, the upcoming feast of the Assumption of Our Lady is really, I think, most of all, an answer to that condition of kind of pessimism that we can kind of fall into. Because it seems to me certainly that the feast of the Assumption of Our Lady into heaven is a feast all about triumph of good over evil. The good of God, but all kind of condensed into the one beautiful soul of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and her defeat of all the evil that is condensed into the person of the devil. The first reading is from the book of the Apocalypse, and gives a very disturbing image, in fact. It gives us that image of this beast, this dragon, this large, huge red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. This dragon with its tail dragging down stars from the sky and dropping them to earth, which could be the effect of the devil to drag people away from heaven. And this dragon then stands in front of this woman about to give birth, preparing himself to devour the newly born child that this woman will bring into the world. And it is a very dramatic picture of the presence of evil in the world, a kind of no-holds-barred picture of the devil and his effect and his real presence in this world, as real activity. It's not imaginary, it's very clear. In fact, it's unfortunately one of the most, unfortunately I see it everywhere, but a very clear reality in our world. But one of the things we have to be very careful about is that the devil, like all tyrants, wants people to fear him and to be convinced that really he is invincible, that nothing really can defeat evil. And the devil wants us to feel that about his action in the world. Evil is stronger than good. And that can be not just in the world, but of course in our own souls. The devil wants us to feel that really evil predominates in me. Evil in me is stronger than good. And that is why today's feast, or the Feast of the Assumption coming up, is so beautiful, because it shows, in fact, how Our Lady and her child, Jesus, is totally victorious before this terrible beast. We're told in the book of the Apocalypse that though the devil is poised to devour the child, well, the child is taken up into heaven and the woman escapes into the desert. And very importantly, the last line of the passage that we're given for the Mass on that feast is, "Then I heard a voice shout from heaven, 'Victory and power and empire forever have been won by our God, and all authority for Christ.'" This great proclamation of God's victory. God is not defeated by the devil. Rather, God defeats the devil unambiguously. There's no doubt about it. Complete victory. And God has wanted to do this or carry out this victory, not as it were directly, but especially through Our Lady. This young, humble woman who doesn't look like she is the kind of person to be able to crush 10 or 7-headed dragons, but she is. She is the woman that we see at the very beginning in the book of Genesis, this woman who's going to crush the head of the serpent. And she does so. We see that in some of these pictures of the image that we see at the beginning of the passage that we have in the Apocalypse, where we see this woman adorned with the sun, standing in the heavens, adorned with the sun, and standing on the moon with the 12 stars on her head for a crown. So the feast, the Assumption of Our Lady, has to fill us with great hope. Look, God overcomes evil. Sometimes evil in this world looks so powerful, so invincible, but it's not. And especially the great, if we can call her weapon, the great weapon that God has, invincible weapon, is the Blessed Virgin. So let's turn to her anytime that we feel that threat of despair about ourselves, about the world. Let's turn to Our Lady. She is our hope. She fills us with hope again and again. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.